Hi, today we're talking about the truth about nursery valuations. And that sounds like a real clickbaity type title, doesn't it? It's like number 7 will shock you. But, you know, the truth about nursery valuations is that in reality, your business is worth what someone's willing to pay for it. We sit there and do the calculations and we work on multiples of EBITDA, which is the same way as the banks work on, to look at basically the profitability of a business and what it's worth overall. But it's one of those things of essentially someone will pay what they want to pay for it, and it will depend on the market. It will depend on what's going on with lending at that moment in time. It will depend on individual buyers and what they're actively looking for at that time. Often the mentality in day nurseries, well, in any sector, to be honest, is that, well, you know, the market says I'm worth this, so I'm going to go out and get this. But if your buyers have suddenly said, well, actually, we're going to start looking over there instead, then maybe it's not worth that anymore, or maybe it's not worth it at that moment in time. It's just as important about kind of understanding what's going on in the market as well as what's going on in your business. When I do a lot of valuations and I'm valuing year on year, people say, I don't need a valuation this year. Nothing has changed in my business. Well, that's fine, but how the market responds to you may have changed, and that's going to have a direct impact on your valuation. When it comes down to it, you know, it's about making sure that when you do go to sell, you're maximising the value by appealing to as many people as possible, because that's the way you're going to secure the best possible price. If you have a setting that actually in reality there's only going to be 1 or 2 buyers out there, it doesn't matter that actually if the market says you're worth a 6 times multiple, the competition isn't going to be there to achieve it. In the same way, actually, if you've suddenly got a group buyer who's very gung-ho about a particular type of setting and you fit into that, then suddenly you might be worth more than you were yesterday, but only for the next 6 months until they change their buying spec again. Valuations, we all have the methodology and the banks need to support it, and you know that comes into play, but so much of it changes on a daily basis, and that is the real truth about your valuation. You're worth what someone is willing to pay. It will depend at that moment in time when you go out there. As markets grow, it's always tempting to say, well, you are growing and I'll wait till next year. But, you know, while we sit there and say that, yes, this market is growing, there's also an element of crystal ball work there. We don't know what's going to happen next year. We didn't realise 5 years ago there was going to be a pandemic. We didn't realise that then there was going to be a cost of living crisis or a change in interest rates. All these things will impact the market, even though they might not impact you day to day. So it's worth thinking about, actually, yes, this is your value, but this is your value in the, you know, how the market works at this moment in time. That will change, and you need to be thinking about that as you grow towards sale. You also need to think about, actually, does your valuation stack up? A broker should be able to sit down and explain to you exactly where your valuation came from, why the numbers break down and the EBITDA gets to a particular figure, and why a particular multiple is correct at that moment in time. If it is that you're going out with a particular figure in mind, it's not the market's responsibility to give you that figure. So if you're thinking, well, I want this for my business, that's all well and good. But actually, if it doesn't stack up for your buyer, you're not going to get there. You need to make sure that your valuation is realistic and works within the market as it stands at that moment in time. If your figure is that £1 million, but you're not quite there yet, then it's about recognising that at this moment in time and working out how to get there. Not saying, well, that's what I want now and that's what I'm going to go out and get, because you're dependent on finding a buyer who's willing to pay it. And actually, the real way to secure the best value for your business is to be able to find several buyers who are willing to pay it, because that way it's a better supported valuation and the sale is more likely to succeed. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, please pop them below, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.